ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
It's a day of reflection. 20 years ago today, Elizabeth Smart and her family reunited after she was abducted from her home and separated for 9 months.
Yes, here at ABC4, we sat down with Elizabeth Smart, learned about her journey, her healing, and what she's doing now. ABC4 Sarah Murphy joining us live in studio with her survival story. Sarah?
Communities across Utah relieved on this day 20 years ago. Now tonight, we learn how Elizabeth Smart is reflecting back on her past and looking forward to the future.
Sky's just a little bit brighter in Utah today, I'd say, because Elizabeth's back. She's with her family.
When I was rescued, I couldn't imagine thinking one day I'll say 20 years ago. I mean, that just felt like an impossibility.
What once felt impossible is now her reality.
Perspective is everything, isn't it?
In June of 2002, Smart was 14 when kidnappers stole her from her bedroom in Salt Lake City. In March 2003, police found and rescued her in a Sandy neighborhood. Now, 20 years later, Smart says she feels fortunate.
I don't know who I'd be if it hadn't happened to me. I have a wonderful life, but I start thinking, would I be here if it had been my dad who'd been hurting me? If it had been a brother or an uncle or someone that I really trusted and I really loved? Would I be sitting here smiling and talking and advocating? Probably not.
She's created the Elizabeth Smart Foundation, the We Believe You campaign, and the Smart Defense Program. Her goal, she says, to educate and spread awareness.
How you respond to victims really can set the trajectory for whether they go on to receive the help they need, receive the support they need, or whether they just kind of hold it inside and it can quite literally destroy them from the inside out.
Celebrating 20 years later, 35 years old, a wife and mother of 3. Looking back brings perspective. Looking forward, hope.
It is encouraging. It is encouraging to see work going forward. It is encouraging seeing communities embracing the programs, embracing survivors, starting to have these conversations and starting to have them on a bigger level.
They never gave up. They never, in their darkest hour, never gave up looking for their daughter.
We have a long ways, maybe a forever ways to go, but I'm determined to continue on.
That determination really a driving force for who she is and what she does. She says if there's anything she's learned over the years, it's compassion and gratitude for her parents and family and what they went through. Emily, Glenn, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Well, we are taking a closer look at a traffic stop turned deadly. Officers firing several rounds into the vehicle of a 25-year-old man.
ABC4's Courtney Johns reviewing the body cam footage of the incident and diving into a similar incident involving that man's mother. That one happening just last year. It's tonight's Justice Files.
Both of these cases start the same. Officers pulling over the driver because of their registration. Both drivers' responses to officers are similar as well, up until officers open Chase Allan's door.
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Officer Farmington Police. The reason for the stop today is there's no registration on your vehicle.
I don't need registration and I don't answer questions.
March 1st, Farmington police stopped Chase Allan over an illegitimate license plate. Nearly 11 months after his mother, Diane Allan, is pulled over because of her registration.
It moved last year, so for the expired registration. Okay.
Diane gives Farmington police her passport, something we see Chase do in March.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chase Allan.
That is not me. That is a piece of plastic paper.
So you have a fraudulent passport?
No.
Wonderful.
Less than a minute into this body cam footage, the officer calls for backup.
You're not going to hand it to me?
Within 2 minutes, 4 more officers' body cameras are activated.
Just be courteous, matter of fact.
In that same amount of time, Diane's officer asked a colleague how to handle the situation.
Is it worth pulling her out of her car and arresting her for failure to identify? No, probably not.
Step out of the car for me.
No.
In Chase's case, it escalates.
Sir, step out of the vehicle
No.
right now.
I am not required to.
Step out of this vehicle right now.
Then we're going to have an issue where
Step out of the car right now.
Farmington police say when the officer opens the door, Chase's hand moves towards his right hip.
I see a manipulation of that holster, movement of that holster, but I can't clearly see a firearm from the angle that the camera is.
Step out of the car. We're going to break the window and pull you out. Step out of the car. Gun.
In the next 5 seconds, Chase's engine revs and nearly 30 rounds appear to be fired.
Show us your hands. Show us your hands. Don't move.
When Chase is pulled from the vehicle, he's wearing an empty holster. Shortly after this, we see an image of what appears to be a gun on the floor of his vehicle. Diane never leaves her car.
So this is a copy of that citation for you.
Nearly 16 minutes pass before Diane receives a ticket.
I need you to make sure you call the court between 5 and 14 business days and take care of that, okay? Thank you. Have a good day.
Chase is shot in under 5.
Gun.
Diane received 2 tickets, adding up to about $100 in fines. She filed a lawsuit against police back in September, claiming she is not under the jurisdiction of the city, state, or the U.S., calling herself a sovereign citizen. Back to you.
All right, switching gears now. Let's head over for another check of the weather before we begin the week.
And Alana, another soggy work week ahead.
Yes, but we get a little bit of a break tonight and into tomorrow morning, but then things start to change for a portion of the state. We begin with that great view from Sandy. Thanks, Don, for sending it our way. I'm going to show you that pop of color here. There we go. Those clouds kind of moving in. Kind of tells the story of the weekend. We were unsettled at times in the north. We woke up to a little bit of snow this morning in portions of the state, but look at some of these precipitation totals coming off of this weekend. Tremendous numbers. Paragouna getting 1.7 over that. Backside of the Wasatch doing well. More than an inch in Beaver County. Zion getting more than an inch, 0.8 in Sandy, so some soggy conditions. In Salt Lake County, 3/4 of an inch in Cedar City, or just about there, over 1/2 inch in Lehigh. Pleasant View, Wellsville pretty close, and 0.3 up in Hiram for Cache Valley. So picking up great moisture from this last atmospheric river event, and tonight things quieting down as that high pressure wants to take control. Now it doesn't get to stick around very long. You can tell as that moisture in Elko and towards the state line near Nevada and Utah really tells the story. We've got more moisture on the way. Our mountains going to pick up more snow. Great shot today from Alta with the snow coming down thanks to Photo John. Our snowpack very, very healthy, and these atmospheric rivers do deliver snow. It's just at a higher elevation. As you look at some of these percents, tremendous numbers on the eastern side of the state at 204% of average. Southwest Desert looking great. Tooele County almost to 200%. Even up north in Cache Valley, very healthy percents, and we want to continue to accumulate. April 1st is when we typically see that measurement for runoff and the rest of the season, so we want to accumulate until then. Winds really targeted the southern portion of the state, not a surprise, and tomorrow we could get gusty because we have the chance of a thunderstorm yet again, isolated in nature, but looking at them for the afternoon and evening. For the bottom half of the state here, that includes southern Utah on the eastern side of the state and south of Utah County. Now, let's track that moisture because this front comes through and it brings the chance through central Utah. The high pressure breaking down overnight. We see increasing cloud cover, and there's that front. Now, it does bring some valley rain, some mixed precipitation possible for the higher elevations towards the benches. The mountains could get a quick clip of snow here, but it moves through fairly quickly. We get those isolated thunderstorms behind it, really impacting the southern end of Salt Lake County through the central portion of the state. Then by tomorrow night, things get quiet again, but don't be fooled. Another atmospheric river is on the way. As we step back, there's the front that will come through, and look at all that moisture that is headed towards us, and that will keep us pretty stormy for several days as that next event keeps us on our toes. So much so that we've got a new winter storm watch for the northern mountains going into effect Tuesday afternoon, so that'll give you an idea on the timing of that precipitation. 30s, 40s, and 50s along the Wasatch Front, 60s down there in St. George. As you take a look at the next 7 active pattern, St. Patrick's Day on the forecast, temperatures in the 50s and 60s in St. George. The Wasatch Front also sees an active pattern with the chance of precipitation. We're talking moisture, folks, rain likely from that atmospheric river. And that lingers all the way into Thursday morning. The chance of some scattered showers drying out by St. Patrick's Day, and as we head into the weekend, we definitely need the moisture and we'll take it. Very active as we make it through your work week. We'll be right back.